of the Tech Kind. I'm John,
I'm
and
Mike.
yeah,
Yeah, you might want to do that again because apparently something was muted.
Mm,
I'm sorry.
that's all right. Hey, one of these days we will get the intro right. I'm not sure what day that'll be, but hey, episode 27. We'll do an intro and then we'll walk around the room, see who's in the flight deck with us. But this is episode 27. It's 3 by 3 by 3 or 3 cubed. You're watching us December 5th, 2024. We're in the last month of the year, guys. Kind of flew by me.
It was quick.
Anyways, with us in the flight deck, we've got. Why don't you go first?
I'm Mike. Hey, everybody. Good to be here. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm Jackson. Yeah, we missed everybody last week, but we're back at it.
I'm Artie. I'm barely conscious.
Party, the barely conscious party. It's been a whirlwind week this last week. We've had, I think, turkey recovery, turkey coma recovery. People have been getting back into the swing of things. Hasn't been real fast getting there, but gosh, the projects we've been working on have been big. So I'm kind of in a sleep-induced or a sleep-deprived haze of reality. So go team. Jackson, you're stuck doing a little bit of wrap up for school, right?
Oh
What's
yeah.
sleep like for that?
What's that?
What's sleep like?
What's that? Oh, no, yeah, it's been a busy week. But yeah, finals is this next week, so I will soon be free from the pain.
Awesome. Super exciting. Can't wait to see what your grades end up being.
Yeah, me too.
There'll be letters.
So,
So if we go around the room 3.0, 4.2, I got what's a Q mean?
so that reminds me, little details in movies that I never completely noticed before. So we watched Home Alone, um, the original one, and it's the part where they finally realized that Kevin is home alone. So now, um, the family is at wherever it is they're at in Europe to kind of figure out, okay, we can't get an immediate flight back, but we're stuck here for a little bit. And his older brother Buzz and I think it's his sister are talking, and the sister's just lamenting like, I hope Kevin's okay, poor Kevin and everything. And Buzz is like, yeah, whatever, like I'm not worried. And he goes, three reasons, right? And he enumerates them. He goes A and says the reason, and then he goes two and then says the reason, and then he says, and D. I'm just like, I busted up. I was like, I never noticed that before. What
That's
a
so funny.
moron.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't know that.
That was one of those low budget films that turned into a timeless classic. Like they stumbled across a brilliant movie
That
just
was very good.
accidentally.
It's the original. What's the term? Is it slapstick comedy? Is it just? It's the cartoon comedy. I mean, we were actually
Yeah.
talking a little bit earlier about Wile E. Coyote cartoons. Just the degree of pain and damage inflicted on the human body is what makes it so great.
Hold still, Mom. Hold still. I got it.
That easily had to have
Oh.
cracked a few ribs.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, I remember my family used to have, the disc and always had the extra scenes, and one time we're like, "Oh, we'll see what they got." And they went over and they're like, "Oh yeah, they did all of the stunts. Like the nail went into his foot and like he did all the ridiculousness." So it was just like, "Wow, that's crazy." These guys beat
And he's
themselves up.
genuinely afraid of spiders. So when they put the tarantula on him and he's screaming, it you can't say it was acting because it came from the soul.
Yeah.
that was a real scream.
I don't know if
Oh
I'd
man.
ever want to scream with a tarantula on my face. I mean, if you're ever going to induce a spider to bite you, yell in its
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder how much they got paid for all of that. I wonder if they think it was worth it.
I actually know the answer to this one. Do you know how much
Oh, yeah.
John Candy made for his cameo?
How
Who
much did he
is?
make?
I'm terrible with actors' names.
He
What's his
was
name?
the band leader from Sheboygan, or on their way to Sheboygan. One of the
The
two.
Polka King.
They gave the mom a ride in the back of the truck.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Guess how much he made for his time on Home Alone?
I have
How
no
much?
idea.
50,000?
$600.
Really? That's it?
Yep.
Oh, that's so funny.
Is that
I
what
mean,
they could pay him, or is that what he just said, "Look, I'll help you out here"? I mean,
I don't know. I'm sure it's a bit of both.
Well,
Wow.
Had
he
he
and
done movies
Catherine O'Hara
before
were
then?
both from SCTV. So it's possible that it was just like, hey,
okay.
let's get some friends in here. I know somebody to fill this role. He'll love it.
Hmm. He had a decent
Yeah.
amount of screen time. I mean, he was a little side story.
Yep.
I think one of the trivia things is that he ad-libs when he's introducing himself to her at the airport, that whole spiel that he's going over is like, you never heard that was all ad-libbed on the spot. Like,
Oh man, that's so funny.
Speaking of ad libs in movies, I came across something very interesting this last week. The Princess Bride.
mm,
There is a scene in there with a character named Miracle Max. Miracle Max is played by Billy Crystal.
Mm.
mhm.
And they spent 3 days doing that scene. And it's like a 5-minute scene at most. And Rob Reiner told Billy Crystal, just wing it. Forget the script. So it's literally 3 10-hour days that they spent trying to get this. And, you know, the penny counters, bean counters, that's the term, finally started
Bean
kicking
counters,
people off the set because they were laughing too much.
I
The director
heard
was
it
the
was the
first to
audio
go.
guy. I heard it
Might
was
have
the
been the
audio
audio
guys who were
guy.
kicking him out.
I know Carrie Ells was also kicked out. The guy laying on the slab, and his body, the mannequin was in the scene most of the time, and Mandy Patinkin.
Is that why he looks so weird?
Yes,
Because he couldn't actually be it. Oh my gosh, that's so
Mandy
funny.
Patinkin was the only person that could not be kicked off the set, and he said the only injury that he sustained in that film was when he was laughing so hard he bruised a rib.
Could you imagine trying to lay there playing dead, and these guys are just cracking jokes left and right? You're
Oh,
like, I can't do this. Like,
that's
Nice
a good
my
MLT,
motivation
mutton,
is
lettuce, tomato.
Yeah.
stuff.
I I think Robin Williams had the same effect on people.
Oh
Definitely.
man.
Can't. You let him ad-lib and you just gotta hang on for the ride.
if you get a chance, find some content with him and Billy Crystal together.
Oh dear.
They were roommates at Juilliard.
Oh dear.
That makes so much sense.
I heard about them doing a guest appearance on Oprah one day, and I got a chance to actually watch that, and nobody could keep a straight face. Oprah was having a hard time doing her looking at the camera and saying, "Here we are," or "We'll go to commercial," or whatever it is she does. She couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know how like I'm a big fan of The Office. And I think Steve Carell in that role was just a genius, and I don't know how they managed to film that entire series because it is just so funny. I always think I would be the person on set that they'd have to kick out all the time. I'd be cracking up.
Yeah.
You know you've made it to fame and fortune when the movie set kicks other people off, and you get to screw up on film. like I watch outtakes sometimes, and you just see actors completely mess up their line, and they'll just do take after take after take. But one guy sneezes or clinks a cup on something, and they're off the set. It's like, wait a minute. Your A-list actors are the ones botching most of the time, anyways.
Yeah. It's funny.
Not
Yeah, and
all
having
actors can ad lib.
True.
that's true.
But
Some
only the ones
people
we care about do.
I think some people are they're just naturally clever, quick, and they're just funny. And those are the type of people that can, just pull things out of the hat on a whim's notice.
I love those whose line is it anyways? The guests that show up. Because you got your core troupe there, and they're doing their magic, which is awesome. But then, yeah, they
Robin Williams was on that. I've
Yeah.
seen, well, gone back and watched some clips of him being on that, and that's just out of control.
I I saw one. It was Keegan Michael Kay. He was on that. That was funny. He's also very good,
Yes, he
very
is.
quick.
A.A. Ron. Which one of you is A.A. Ron?
Oh man. Did you guys watch the new Transformers movie?
The new animated
Transformers 1. Yeah, the animated one.
one? Not yet.
There's a new animated one.
Yeah, it was good. It was Keegan
did
Michael
not know
Kay.
this.
They had I'm so bad with actors' names. Thor, what's his face? He was doing
Hemsworth.
Optimus Prime. Yeah, Hemsworth, and they had uh Black Widow, what's her name? I'm so bad at
Johansson.
this. Yep, Scarlet, that's right. And then they had a lot of A-list actors on there, but it was funny. Like, I enjoyed it. It was very good.
And from my understanding, it's the first time that Peter Cullen was actually asked by the actor that was going to be playing Optimus, "Do you mind if I take this role?"
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I think they did a good job. And it was funny because, in the original, well, I shouldn't say original, but yeah, I mean, I guess it must have been the first live action they did, the Transformers, the one that everyone knows about, with Shia LaBeouf. Oh, I totally just lost. Oh yeah, Bumblebee. That's right. He like doesn't speak in the movie. In all the old cartoons and everything, like that's not a thing. So anyway, in this new one, Bumblebee has a voice, right? It's Keegan Michael Kay, and of course, because he didn't get to speak at all in the other series, he's just the most annoying character in the entire movie, and it's good. It's funny.
So something
CG in those
interesting
things is just insane.
about the
Yeah, the
Transformers
old
fandom,
Transformers. Go ahead.
It is. Yeah.
everything is canon. Every cartoon, every movie, it's canon in the Transformers universe. So even the things that don't make sense, yeah, that's canon. In the original 1984 movie, 84, 88, whenever the movie came out where they, killed Optimus Prime, there's a scene
84.
where there are 4 Decepticons that get converted, and then they're gone the next scene. That's canon. Never explained. They just vanish.
Budget cuts.
It just made it easier, I think, on them because you don't have to retcon anything. If everything is part of the lore, then there's no retconning.
True.
$1986, Artie.
I was halfway there both times.
You were. Split
You
the
missed
difference.
it equally on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, 1986. I remember. I remember that came out. That was a big deal when that movie came out.
So many traumatized kids.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of trauma and trivia, I think Jackson's got some trivia for us.
Yeah. Do you want to run through it? We're back. We're back this week with some trivia. We missed out
More-
a week before Thanksgiving, but hope you're all ready for some more.
Yeah.
The more
Ask a
traumatic,
trivia
the better.
question we answer it and then we discuss what if any of us have anything to add to the trivia.
Yeah, I've got a couple of there's a couple of pretty interesting ones. I've got a little history to back it up with, so we can get to get going on it. All right.
Take potpourri for 500, Alex.
Man, we should do a Jeopardy. That would be good. All right, this first one is just open-ended, and then we'll go and everyone will have 4 options. But first up, as of March 2018, so a little old here. I don't know if this still holds up. What is the world's best-selling PC game?
What year?
This is
2018.
2018, and it may still hold true today. I should actually find out.
PC game.
Selling PC game.
Half-Life.
Okay, John says Half-Life,
Um,
which is a good game.
I'm gonna say Sims. Just to throw
Sims?
some out there. Yeah.
All right.
Totally guessing. I don't even know what games are out there for the PC anymore.
I'm trying to see.
trying
Artie,
to
do you have a
think.
guess?
Yeah, I'm sitting here like mulling over everything because I know console, but PC computer game
And
is different.
and there's a lot of crossover, isn't there? Aren't there a lot of console games that are available on PC or vice versa, or something like that? But I don't
They
know if
Yeah.
that's how they're
track them differently
played.
when it comes to sales.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Sims as well, or maybe
Sims,
Sims
okay.
2.
All right. The answer is actually Minecraft.
No way.
I believe
Really?
that.
However, if you look at IGN and now this was 2024 update, these are the games of best selling of all time, and I think this goes a little bit outside of PC because, well, does anyone want to take a crack at what it might be? Best selling game of all time?
Go for it. I don't know.
Tetris.
Minecraft.
It's Tetris.
It is
Really?
Tetris, really?
It
Yep.
is Tetris.
Huh.
With 520 million copies sold, according to the Tetris Company. So that includes sales across all available platforms. And then
Told you I knew that
second in
one.
place is Minecraft.
I'm still waiting for Tetris 2.
Did you hear when the guy that
They're gonna
invented
introduce
Tetris
one new
died and they
shape.
buried him, the cemetery disappeared?
Filled in the hole and there it went. Cleared a line.
Oh man. All right, now getting into a little nitty gritty here. Let's see how deep everyone's knowledge really is. Which of the following chip makers never made x86 CPUs? You have 4 options. We have Cyrix, Motorola, IBM, or VIA. Never made x86.
Motorola.
I'm gonna go with Motorola. But
Artie?
I don't know who VIA is. I've heard of Cyrix. I remember Cyrix was a name.
Let's go for the
Back
hat
day.
trick.
It was
Motorola.
Motorola is correct.
DIA does chipsets
Yeah.
primarily.
All right, this one will be good. Which of these materials is the best conductor of heat? Copper, aluminum, silver, or diamond?
My hand when I touch the stove.
He's not wrong. I mean, ooh, let's
Conductor
see.
of heat. I would say aluminum.
Diamond.
I would say I'm gonna go with copper. One of us is right.
All
Right?
right,
Maybe.
one of you is right, and the answer is diamond.
Oh.
Now I realize I should have pulled up the actual differences so we could talk about them, but because I think actually copper would come in second.
Mhm.
It is certainly the cheapest one, as you'll find that in just about any heating element.
It's a little cheaper than diamonds right now.
Just slightly, a
So
little bit more bendy.
So back in my previous life, when I knew people who had steam boilers made, there was an instance of a boiler with copper tubes. It was kind of an unusual thing that we came up against because most of the boilers that the company I was working for built were steel, all steel construction. But a guy had a boiler that he needed retubed, so that the heating tubes that run through the inside of the boiler, they were made of copper.
That'd be a nightmare
And
to seal up.
it's not a nightmare to seal up because copper is very um, malleable.
But
The
the
problem
expansion rate's
is
different.
that the maintenance on it's also wears out pretty quick. So that's the problem you have with copper tubes. I
Okay,
can't remember how that ended up.
I have found
Uh,
the K values, I think is what they call it, or the thermal conductivity of the four materials. So, does anyone want to try for second place? What is the second most conductive out of the four? We have copper, aluminum, silver, diamond. Diamond is first, so between copper, aluminum, silver, which one is the second most? Because it's actually surprising.
my
Silver.
guess is between copper and silver.
When you say it's surprising, the obvious one's copper, so then that's not it. And
It's
I know
surprising
copper's
to
better than
me. You
aluminum.
know, it's all relative. I
Copper's
don't know
better than
much.
aluminum. So that leaves silver, which I can't see because that's not a dense material. So
It is
I'm gonna
silver.
stick with yeah.
That is silver. So here are the values. Coming in last is aluminum. Aluminum is 205 watts per meter Kelvin is how they measure it, and copper comes in at 401, so pretty much double. And then comes silver at just a little bit over copper at 429 watts per meter Kelvin, and then diamond just knocks it out of the park at 2,300 watts per meter Kelvin.
So when I hit rich and fame, I'm getting a diamond CPU cooler.
Yeah, you'll
Diamond
never
cookware, man.
have to worry about it.
If you grow it, it's going to cost a lot less and probably be a lot more stable.
Yeah. I mean, if you're that rich and you're gonna flex, might as well flex big, right?
Why give De Beers the
Ground the
money?
Hope Diamond down. I ground the Hope Diamond down to cool my 4090.
All right. Next up, we've got a little bit of a throwback here. It was 1995. 15-inch 800 by 600 monitors were the norm. What kind of monitor did John Carmack, I want to make sure I said his name right, John Carmack use to code Quake?
Okay, read that resolution again.
Okay,
15
back in
inch.
the day, a 15-inch 800 by 600 was the norm. But what monitor did John Carmack use to code Quake?
Turnitron.
What now?
A bigger.
So
Are we looking for size or what are we looking for here?
You're looking for the size. We have the size in inches and the pixel density. I'll give points for both. Either or,
Uh,
I should say.
I'm gonna say the pixel density was 1024 by 768.
Okay.
I'll go 1280 by 1024 on a 17-inch monitor.
Okay.
I'm gonna go smaller. He more than definitely used like a 640 by 480.
All right. Are y'all ready? None of you came close in either size or pixel density. In 1995, John Carmack used a 28-inch 1920 by 1080 monitor.
Really? I was gonna say it had to be at least a 20-inch, but
That's a
95.
big
I
monitor
I didn't think that
in
he had
95.
full HD, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
To code Quake on.
Okay, was it a
Have to be a laptop.
CRT? Was it a CRT monitor?
It was a CRT. So it
Really?
was used an Intergraph Interview 28 HD 96 color CRT monitor.
Holy cow!
Intergraph was pretty awesome back then.
And it was 19. It was full HD resolution, 1920 by 1080, right?
1920
wow.
by 1080.
They
That
do
thing must have been a
exist.
monster.
They do exist.
Yeah, that's
Those
crazy.
are horrendous looking. I couldn't imagine carrying one of those.
How much did it weigh? That's what I want to know.
Oh, are you ready for this? They do
Yeah.
have the weight.
220.
No, it's 99.5 pounds, 45 kilograms,
Just shy of 100 pounds. Wow.
and a
Yep.
typical power consumption of 180 watts.
Took my eggs on that, man. Jeez.
CRTs did take the juice.
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, next up, the first the first ever Rickroll occurred on 4chan, disguised as a trailer for which popular video game? The options are Mass Effect, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Grand Theft Auto 4, or Half-Life 2.
I know the answer.
Go for it, Artie.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
That was gonna be my guess.
Grand Theft Auto
It's
4.
4chan. You got to think of the users. I'm saying they
Ugh.
play the most awesome, edgy games out there, right?
Let's see what they have to say about it. Um,
Please don't go to 4chan to find out.
no.
Don't.
No. By the way, we'll give credit where credit's due. All of these trivia do come from TechSpot. Go give them go check them out. Let's see if they have much to say about it. Not much. It was a Rickroll. Rickrolls don't get too complicated.
So I've never played Grand Theft Auto actually, but from what I've seen, just what I hear in the media, it seems like you nowadays you can do just about everything. In fact, I think I see it's particularly in my YouTube feed. I see more videos about all the things you can do in Grand Theft Auto other than drive a car.
All right, dad joke time.
Uh-oh.
Do you know race car spelled backward is race car? But race car upside down is expensive.
Oh no, don't tell me you have a list of these.
No. Well, I could get
You
a
want me to
list.
break out my list?
What sound does a witch's car make?
Broom, broom.
Broom, broom. All right, back to the trivia. I don't want to hog too
Yeah,
many
I want
dad
more
jokes.
trivia. This is getting interesting.
All right. This one's big. What was the biggest tech acquisition in history? We have Dell's buyout of EMC in 2015. We have IBM's buyout of Red Hat in 2018. Elon Musk's Twitter takeover in 2022. Or Microsoft and Activision Blizzard in 2023.
Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the 2023.
That is right. Microsoft's acquisition Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard has officially been completed, making it the largest tech industry buyout in history at $68.7 billion with a B. That's a
Can I
lot of
have
money.
just like, a percent of that?
I didn't even realize they got bought.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Trying to boost up the Xbox platform.
I didn't realize that Activision Blizzard was a thing.
Yeah,
we
that
kind
was.
of wish it weren't.
And actually, to tell you the truth, I'm actually really surprised that Activision as a name had lasted that long.
Right.
The first
Well-
game I remember from Activision ever playing was Stealth AFT on the Nintendo.
Wow, that goes back in time.
Mm.
It was one of the
Never even heard of
hardest
that.
games I can remember because you had to take off at the beginning of the mission and then you had to land. And if you didn't have the angle proper, you crashed. And it had to be proper every time.
Wow. My first Activision game was probably Pitfall on the Atari.
Mm. As a kid, we had an old PS2. We had two of them actually. We had the slim and then the big old
PS2.
ginormous one. I never played on the PS1, so it's kind of sad. I guess my age shows there, but I grew up playing all the games on the PS2, and we had one that was like an Activision collection, and so I remember we'd always just play that one. It was so much fun. All
Huh.
those old little games, and it was like enough to where my mom, who doesn't touch computers hardly at all, she would play the Activision games, and that was it.
Hmm.
All right. Next up, we have QR codes were invented back in 1994 for tracking what? The options are packages at UPS, as an alternative to website URLs, vehicles as they were assembled, or to initiate phone calls.
I'm going to say packages at UPS.
Websites.
Um, actually, the correct answer isn't on there, but it's close. It was to track auto parts. The company
So
that created it was an auto parts vendor, not a car manufacturer.
I think you're right too. But yeah,
I
the
know I'm
answer
right.
would be vehicles as they were assembled. That is at least what TechSpot said. But I think you're probably right.
I actually dug into that like 3 weeks ago.
No, that's funny. Yeah, it was actually used for vehicles, and if you look at your car, I'm sure you'll see a bajillion little QR codes on there. They still use them.
They have expanded them considerably since then.
Yes, to say the least.
I've been hearing for 15 years QRs are dead, and we keep finding more creative and awesome ways of using them.
Oh, they're not dead.
They're
No,
Whoever's
they're
saying
not
that
dead.
has no idea what they're talking about.
In fact, I would say now I probably see them more in use now than I ever did. When I first started using them was easily 12 years ago, probably. And it's only been just recently, like in the last year or two, that I've seen a higher use of them than I ever had before.
also additionally, it was a Japanese company that developed it, or Japanese person who developed the method.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And they function even if you're missing like half of the code.
Oh, really?
That's cool. Get some fault tolerance into that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, QR codes are great. I mean, I see them all the time in college. I mean, you're in a lecture, someone needs to come present something or give an announcement. Usually there's a QR code up there and everyone pulls out their phone. I mean, it's a super easy way to get a website across
It
or
beats the alternative.
surveys.
I would
Yeah.
love to see like a cybersecurity thing and everybody's got like the QR code up on the screen. People pull out their phones and, the first thing that pops up is you shouldn't have scanned that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Or a
Yet,
Rickroll.
Have you seen the hacks that are going around? People are
Uh-uh.
putting stickers on top of QR codes in public places. It's like parking garages or
Yep.
restaurants on the outside of their menus, on the outside of the building.
Yeah, that's a
So
thing.
Yikes.
look for a sticker.
Naughty, naughty.
Yeah. If there's a sticker, see if it is peelable away because usually it's not the appropriate thing. And sometimes it'll send you to something that looks exactly like what you're trying to access and they will steal all your information.
I
Yeah,
like about at least my camera, it'll decode the QR code and show me what it decodes to first.
Mhm.
And then I have the option, if it's a link, especially like, do you want to visit this? And if and that's where it's really on the user to make sure you look at that link or that URL or whatever that reference is and make sure that it makes sense for what you're
You'll be able to
doing.
open it in like incognito or something, so that you can
Yeah.
at least not get you get a Bitly on there, and you get a short link, and you just don't know where it actually goes, but you
Mhm.
want to know where
Yeah.
it goes, but you don't
My
want to lose your phone.
Yeah, I would avoid wherever possible, or just completely. If you scan a QR code and ask you to log into something, don't. It's not worth the risk.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, don't enter in any sort of personal information from links that you're handed that may or may not be a trustworthy source. Um, and you probably won't have too much trouble doing that because most QR codes that are out in public anyway are it's meant to be public information, right? You shouldn't have to log in for it, but
Right.
you never know.
Cool. All right, more trivia. What else you got for us?
All right. The first ever webcam was used at Cambridge University, but what was it designed to do? The options are view crows nesting outside a laboratory window,
Coffee pot.
allow a lounge
Coffee pot.
refrigerator to catch a lunch thief, or a coffee pot. Yeah, you guys know it. All right. Dang it, I thought that one was good.
It is
It's
good.
good. I mean, the fact that they were getting emails from around the world saying, "Hey, could you leave the light on in the break room?"
Oh man. Yeah, it was to view a coffee pot to know when it was empty. All right. Well, since that one was so easy, let's see if you guys know this. In old PCs, what was the function of the turbo button?
Of the what?
The turbo button. There was a literal turbo button on most PCs.
What
Um,
Is
generation?
this multiple? Is
It
this
has
multiple
multiple.
choice? I
this
want to
is
hear what the
It has
multiple
multiple
choice is.
uses.
there. Okay. A, it made the computer run faster. B, made the computer run slower. C, reboot the computer to its original speed. Or D, the button actually did nothing.
So
I mean, it's E, all of the above, because it depended upon the machine that you got. I
there's
mean,
some
for
that
some it was a
the only
placebo.
thing that
It's
yeah, it
it's
would
A
just turn
or
on a light.
it's A or B because the switch that was on my friend's computer, he had a turbo button. And it was a
Did
switch, it was a lock switch, like, click it in, it's on, click it
Yep.
again, it's off. So it's turn it on or off.
Mm-hmm.
so back in like the 286, 386 era, it would do frequency cutting in half. So if you have 25 megahertz processor, now it's 12 and a half megahertz, or a 16 megahertz processor, now it's 8 megahertz. In later years, they actually turned off the math coprocessor.
Mm.
That was way more rare, though.
Mm.
Yeah, you guys kind of nailed it on the head. The answer that TechSpot gave was that it actually ran slower, and the reason for this was that whenever, let's see here, sorry, I lost my spot here. This button was commonly found on PCs during the 1980s and early 1990s, particularly after the release of the Intel 8086 processor, which
Mhm.
operated at 4.77 megahertz. So at the time, most software titles, especially games, were developed with a specific machine in mind, a specific clock speed. And so what happened is they had to cut the clock speed, or just, and like you were saying, there were different things they developed to change it. They would cut the speed in order for the programs to run properly.
Mhm. So, if you want a neat exercise in frustration, try playing the old PC game called Sopwith. I think it had a couple different titles.
It's a fun
Sopwith
game.
was what I knew it as. Try playing it on like, and even really, you don't have to go like terribly modern. Like just getting it on like a 386 or 486 that's at, you know, easily 10 times the clock speed of that old 8086. So you're looking at anywhere between 20 to 45, 60 megahertz. And it's dang near unplayable. Like the minute you hit launch and start the game, your plane immediately crashes into whatever's there.
So many games were like that.
Yeah.
And the turbo button didn't work because computers kept getting faster and faster.
Yeah.
Forced the gamers, the game writers, to use different methods of time to control their games instead of just the inefficiencies of a processor.
Well, and the thing is back then is that in order to get the performance out of the game that they wanted, they had to write extremely optimized and streamlined code to run as fast as possible because the processors at the time they developed it were so slow. So there was no need for any kind of a timing mechanism because they probably never thought that it would need one. Like this thing's so slow, like it needs to just run as fast as possible. Well, then as fast as possible suddenly became too fast. And so then you had to start putting in. I remember some of my older programs that I wrote back in my high school days in Pascal. I used Borland's Turbo Pascal to write a lot of those programs. And it got to a point where they won't execute anymore because the processor's so fast that when the Pascal compiled, part of the executable would contain a routine to calculate the clock speed. I think it was some type of a clock speed calculation, so that when you used there's a delay procedure, but in order for that delay procedure to run consistently on different kinds of machines, it would have to basically reverse calculate the clock speed to say, oh, it's running this fast, so that means my factor is going to be this to properly delay the processor. And all your delays were written in terms of milliseconds. So it has to determine, well, what is a millisecond? What is this unit of time in terms of processor speed? Well, the processors got so fast that it ended up in a divide by zero state because like it couldn't time the speed well enough or accurately enough to come up with a number bigger than zero. And so then it's like divide by zero, and so then the program won't run. I believe there's patches out there where you can fix that and everything, but it's just like, oh, the computer's too fast to run my program now. I can't run my programs anymore.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
All right, dad joke time. Chuck Norris can divide by zero.
Got a
Is
question
there more
for
to
you
that
guys.
one, or that's it?
That's it.
I love me some good Chuck Norris jokes.
What is the best room to put your Wi-Fi router in?
What?
Is this a serious question or is this a joke?
The reception room.
Oh.
That was a dad joke. Definitely a dad joke.
Oh, we are so building one of those, Mike.
A reception
so-
room?
Yes.
I've opened up my long list of puns that I have created. I'm at 11 pages.
Oh no.
I'll take the silence as you want more.
Do we get a do we get a teaser? I mean, I was thinking we get at least a couple out of you.
Okay.
Yeah. Go for it.
You have us with bated breath.
Since we're coming upon the season, when discussing how best to dress the lower portion of a Christmas tree, I tend to skirt the issue. Someone who can lift a lot of Christmas ornaments is said to have high tinsel strength.
These are good too. Christmas. Yeah, we need to do some Christmas themed
Jackson,
things for next week.
did you know I used to be a projectionist?
No, tell me all about it.
So I only showed movies that were about ghosts or spirits. I was an astral projectionist.
These are good.
And one of my favorites, children that have imaginary friends have literally made friends.
Yep.
That's good.
Good.
Last one, Jackson. I can't bear with you. I'm in Antarctica.
Hold on.
Say it again. I want to make sure we all heard that right.
I can't bear with you. I'm in Antarctica.
Ugh.
I hate to say it. Give me a little explanation there.
So, Arctic is the word for bear. A word for bear,
Oh,
I should say. Antarctica means without bears.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Isn't that
I
like
was
the
like,
place that there are lots of bears though, like polar
The
bears?
Arctic.
Oh, okay.
Arctic, they're bears.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In Antarctica, they're not bears. Yeah, I was gonna say that one's a bit of a stretch. Like
It's
you have to
esoteric,
have
yes.
people that
Yeah, I
really
feel like all you
know.
did was prove how stupid I was already. Thanks a lot.
Wait, Jackson, you mean your mind's not full of useless trivia?
Oh no, it is. I've got another one here.
Oh.
It's like law schools are thought of as a place of knowledge, because all the kids go in knowing so much and they come out knowing so little. Ends up somewhere.
Oh man.
So
All
maybe we
right.
should go back to the trivia.
Last one and then
Maybe.
trivia. So that
Okay.
people don't feel like idiots.
Too late.
If you're not part of the solution, you haven't dissolved yet.
That's a good one.
That's good. Oh man. Well, speaking of things that dissolve, here's a little trivia for you. In tech culture, the term vaporwave was first used to reference to which product? The options are Microsoft Xenix OS, Duke Nukem Forever, Apple Interactive TV Box, or Sega VR.
Vaporwave or vaporware?
Vaporware.
Yeah.
Vaporware meaning
Yep.
Yeah. What are the choices again? I want to hear those again.
Microsoft Xenix OS, Duke Nukem Forever, Apple Interactive TV Box, or Sega VR.
Sounds like something
Uh,
Microsoft would say.
I'll say Sony VR.
I'm gonna say like the VR or the. Can't remember about Duke Nukem.
All right.
Go for it, Jackson.
Drum roll, please. The answer is Microsoft Xenix OS.
The Xenix OS.
And it was coined in 1983 after it was coined by technology writer Esther. I'm not sure how to say her name. Esther Dyson, who featured it in her newsletter Release 1.0. And so the term vaporware comes from vapor and software, obviously, evoking the image of a product that is intangible and elusive, promised but never materializing.
Like the Star Wars board game.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Fun game.
Did anybody ever play it?
I never even
No.
heard of it until now.
No one played it. You bought a box on the promise that would send you what the game is later.
Really?
Yeah, empty box.
Wow.
The one that we had growing up? Or is this a different one?
No. When the movie came out, they came out with a board game because they were trying to capitalize on the popularity of the film.
Gotcha.
And so they like a Milton Bradley kind of thing. I don't think they were the ones that put it out, but somebody made a board game, but they never delivered it. You just get a certificate inside a shrink wrap box, Star Wars the game, and never got it.
How much money did they make on that, selling
A
a box
lot of
full
money.
there? Yeah.
A lot of
It'd
people
be
were mad on that one too.
it'd be funny if they made one and that particular one ended up in the hands of a collector who has never opened it. And he still got it shrink wrap box sitting on his shelf as it's just collecting what do you even call that? It's just growing in value.
Hmm.
All right, I've got
Into the box.
2 more questions if you want them.
Sure, go
Yeah, we
for
got
it.
9 minutes left in our podcast.
All right,
Perfect.
here you go.
Damn slowly.
What was the first
All right, Flash.
What was the first HD home video format available to customers? It comes in options of HD DVD, DVD, Laserdisc, or DVHS.
DVHS.
DVHS. Any other answers?
My
Marty, Mike?
choice. I could say DVHS. Part of me wants to say HD DVD, but I think it's the VHS one.
Say Laserdisc, but it's not an option.
It
The
is.
Laserdisc was an option.
It is.
Oh, Laserdisc.
All right. Final answer. Or I guess the answer is DVHS.
Yeah.
I don't have
I-
history on that one pulled up.
I never knew
Just can't find
anybody
it.
with it.
Laserdisc doesn't get up to as high a resolution as DVHS did.
All right, for secondary points that we're not counting. What year did
We're counting points?
DVHS?
Wait a minute.
No, we're
Oh,
not.
wait, who's winning? I forgot to
I would
ask.
have had Google up on the background if I had known we were going for points.
No, for the points that we're not counting. What year did DVHS? In what year was it introduced?
96?
90s sometime.
90s sometime. Nah, you gotta give a year.
I said mid 90s.
Ah, still gotta give a year.
Let's go 95.
1993. I'm gonna go
95,
93.
All right, and the Price is Right. John wins because the actual year was 1998.
Ooh. Closest
And
without going over.
the D in DVHS originally stood for data, reflecting its capacity for data storage.
So
And then it was
digital,
later
yeah.
renamed to digital VHS.
Have you ever seen the operation of a VHS tape, Jackson?
Mhm.
Yeah. Like just
So
it
it's like that
spinning.
cassette.
Yeah.
Where it grabs the tape and yanks it out of the cartridge and wraps it around a spinning head.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Frightening when people that haven't seen that tech just look at it and say, and that doesn't break it.
Like, wait, it's been doing this to my videotapes this whole time? Uh-huh.
It's ironically one of the most precise technology instruments that was widely available in homes by like a decade.
Yeah. When I was in high school, my car didn't have an aux cable even, and so it was an old like 98. I guess it was an Accord, yeah, and it didn't have an aux cable, or the aux cable was broken or something. Anyway, and we had CDs, but if you ever want to use your phone, you had to buy the little cassette adapter to an aux cable, and so I had that little thing, and it would, you'd slot it into your car. And the thing is, I lived in Arkansas, a lot of dirt roads, and so you'd be driving on the dirt roads, and it would knock the cassette out of its place, and you'd lose the back right. So while you're driving, you had to reach in there and adjust it, and then finally the sound would come back.
I had one of those adapters once. Yeah.
See, they make them in Bluetooth now.
Oh, I don't even know why they're still developing those. I mean, there can't be too many cars left that don't have. Well,
Even
What I
Even
eventually converted
go ahead.
to was the little cigarette lighter adapter for a radio transmitter
Right.
because I could get Bluetooth from that, and it like the quality was never quite as good, but it was. I mean, it was a lot more convenient.
We I had a 1991 Toyota 4Runner with an
Wow.
aftermarket um radio in it. It had a CD player. And I can think of maybe one time that I ever used it because at that point, like, I don't even think it had Bluetooth. Like, I just stuck to listening to whatever was on the radio, whatever radio station I could find. That's what I listened to. But that, yeah, that radio had to be an upgrade from whatever it came with. And I'm not sure what it would have come with in 1991, but I'm guessing it probably would have been either a CD player or probably a tape deck.
Mm.
Or maybe even not anything, maybe just a regular radio. I don't know. I wasn't the original owner of the truck, so I don't know what was originally in it.
So here's a crazy one for you. When I grew up, I had a 8-track to cassette adapter.
Yeah.
So
How does
it's
that
a
work?
little 8-track size box. You snap a cassette into it and plug that into
An
the
8-track player.
Yep.
Wow.
That's funny.
Speaking of tapes getting destroyed, 8-tracks, those things were horrible at getting destroyed because if it ever ate your tape, you're buying a new cartridge.
Wow.
Can't reload them.
Huh.
Shoot.
You got one more trivia?
I do. This is the last question. I think it's a little bit easier. I think you guys will know this. But the first computer mouse, how many buttons did it have and what was it made of? Maybe I'll leave this one open. I won't even give you the options unless everyone's at a loss.
I want to hear what the
Welcome.
options are because I want to hear what the most ridiculous option is.
Yeah.
All right. It had a single button and was made of metal. It had 2 buttons, was made of plastic. It had 1 button and was made of plastic. Or it had 1 button and it was made of wood.
One button made of wood.
That's what I'm thinking, even before you gave the options.
I thought it was a 5-button.
I was hoping it'd be something really ridiculous, like made out of a
One button out of
I
metal.
don't even know, like a toaster, made out of a toaster or something. I mean, I don't know.
I'll go against the grain here, guys. Pun intended. Metal.
Well,
One-
you're gonna pay for that one in imaginary points because the answer is it had 1 button and it was made of wood. And until we can, I wish we had a way to show a little picture of it, but it was just a wooden box and it just had a little button in the corner, and that was it. And it sat on a
I
roller.
I want to say that somewhere in my childhood, I once saw a book, maybe a library book or something, and it had instructions of how to make your own mouse. Make your own computer mouse. Like for I think just a regular serial port connection or something on a PC or something like that. So it was like electronics and other parts, and then you had to like build the box somehow. And
Have you guys ever seen the TV show Better Off Ted?
Mm-mm.
TV
The
show
whole
or movie?
series starts off TV show. The whole TV series starts off with this guy. He's narrating his life briefly. His boss jumps in and says, he works at a Fortune 100 company. They make everything. This lady jumps in and says, "We need a mouse that can survive 400 degrees." He looks at her and says, "Yeah, we could do that." She's like, "Good. We need it by the end of tomorrow." So he goes closer. He's like, "Wait a minute. Live mouse or computer mouse?" She stops, looks at him, and says, "I'll get back to you," because she doesn't know.
Oh, that's funny.
So, something that it's a good thing that I've been writing a lot of these puns down because, I don't remember creating half of them. And, sometimes they can cause you to laugh rereading them. Dracula won, but his army suffered heavy losses. It was a vampiric victory. All right,
Sounds
here's one more
palpable.
related to tech. They shouldn't call it a self-driving car. They should call it autocorrect.
Only if they can get the stupid thing to actually do it.
True.
Cars are getting amnesia looking at strobe lights now. You seen that in the news?
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
documented 16 Teslas have smashed into emergency vehicles on the side of the road when
Oh,
their lights were on. A 3-year study with the National Highway. I'm going to say it wrong. The government groups have monitored those things. They said that the cameras get this weird machine learning effect where it has like a seizure. It can't understand what's going on, so it just keeps going.
Great.
Hmm.
People are literally going to flash instructions into my self-driving car. Kidnap me
Oh.
by playing a strobe light at just the right time or something. And
So you're saying if I'm driving and I see a Tesla on the side of the road, I should just start flashing my brights at it?
yep.
Well, you can. I just don't know what you're trying to attempt there. I mean,
I
Well,
was warning him that there was a hazard that just passed. Yeah,
he
honest
became it.
officer. Yeah. I thought his headlights weren't on, so I was telling him to turn them on. Honest officer, I swear it's what I was doing.
Well, it is interesting because at least I know in the past, Elon has been pretty adamant about not using LiDAR and just using just visuals, just photos or video. And I wonder if he's changed his mind on that at all. But I mean, it is quite amazing what they've been able to do with video. Because, I mean, to a computer, video or images in general, it is literally just a bunch of numbers. Like, they don't understand visuals at all. So teaching a computer to understand that is pretty impressive.
and technology is only going to get better
Yeah.
or worse. But either way, we're going to be here talking about it every week. So tune in next time to see Artie lean away from his computer and say,
What?
that and thrilling, more exciting. Yeah, I can't find an adjective. It's been a day. But until then, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jackson.
I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
And us
Yep.
together are happy that you're here. If you like what you saw or want to see more of this, or even if you didn't, please hit the like and subscribe. We definitely want to see some interaction here. If you have a comment, we'd love to hear those comments. Suppose we should have said all this at the beginning or in the middle or somewhere. Maybe we'll do that next time. But for now, have a happy 5th.